Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We're right in the middle of Good Cop, Bad Cop, and it's time for potentially Alphonse and Kishi to make a guess as to what ball we picked, although I don't think we've really given them much to work with, or maybe they're about to torture us again. Yes, we get to be tortured again. Exciting. And then they get to choose. That's right. Come on out, Devon. We've got another interrogation to get through. I figured as much. Be gentle with her. She's delicate. I'm not that delicate. Don't worry, we'll be careful. Won't be Alphonse. It's not really reassuring to hear, you know. Al, if you heard a hair on Devon's precious little head, you won't hear the end of it. What do you think I'm going to do to her? Do you really think that lowly of me? Not at all, but I just have to be certain. Ugh. Now that you've had your banter, let's get to the interrogation room, yeah? See you soon, Devon. Yep, see you soon. Val escorted us over to the interrogation room once again and sat me down. Everything happened as it usually did, but of course, this time things would be more serious. I could tell because this time Alphonse was sitting right across from me. Alright, let's get right to it. Not taking the lead this time, Kishi? I'm not really good at this sort of thing, so really better left to the professionals, you know? Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the questions. Alright, here we go. Alphonse is going to ask me some serious questions, so I'm going to have to lead him off the trail. Let's remind ourselves of a few things. I picked the red ball made of glass with a polka dot pattern. Not only that, but Alphonse is going to know when I'm lying, so I need to be able to come up with fake lies. Alright, let's do this. That's what I've been doing the whole time. You picked the red ball, didn't you? Well, I did, but I'm not going to admit that. Time to answer this carefully. What? Yes, no, fake yes, fake no. Fake lies? Fake no? No, I didn't pick the red ball. There wasn't a red ball to pick. Well, what do you mean there wasn't a red ball to pick? Calm down, Kishi. It's just a weird way to answer. Obviously it was a lie, right? What a strange answer. She's lying, but I don't know how the heck to make sense of it at all. She could just be lying about the fact that she chose the red ball, or maybe Maria picked it. All the balls that she could choose from didn't include a red ball. I just couldn't get a good read on her. Even though you know she's lying? Yeah, sorry, this wasn't much help. Alright, they're off the trail. Next question. Devon, the ball you picked was made of rubber, wasn't it? I'll say... fake no. No, I didn't pick the rubber ball. It was a rubber football, though. What? That's just semantics. Calm down, Kishi. It's just a weird way to answer. Obviously it was a lie, right? What a strange answer. She's lying, but I don't know how to make this... Yeah, or she could be lying about the fact that she chose the rubber ball, or maybe Maria picked it. All the balls that she could choose from didn't include a football at all. Oh, you mean a rubber ball? I can't get a good read on her. Even though you know she's... This is the same again. Alright, they're off the trail. Let's try another question. Devon, the ball you picked had a starry pattern, didn't it? Fake no. No, I didn't pick the green ball. There was a green square, though. What? Calm down, Kishi. It's just a weird... Yes, she's certainly lying, but I can't really be sure as to what part of it. Maybe she didn't pick the ball, or maybe Maria did, or something else. Perhaps there's something about the shapes, but I just can't pinpoint it. And should we accept that she didn't pick the red ball? No, it's probably best not to jump to any assumptions. We'll just have to narrow things down later. Oh, seems like they couldn't figure it out. As long as I'm careful with my words, I can breeze through this without any worries. You just say nonsense like we did the first time. You can't possibly figure it out if we just talk nonsense. Last question. Actually, can I ask the next question? Sure, go ahead. Can you be honest with us? We just want to win like anyone else here. And it's vitally important that I win to make sure that Alphonse is kept in check. Well, Alphonse and Maria anyway. So can you help a girl out? Does she really think I'm just going to give her a free win like that? I'm not going to help you out. I want to survive and win just like anyone else here. But you don't understand, there's a lot more at stake here than you think. Honestly, I'm not going to shed a tear because I die here, but this might be one of the few times that I'll be able to stop Maria and Alphonse from making a huge mistake. If they go along with their plan, they're going to die for sure. And not only that, tons of other people will die and suffer. Please, Devon, can you just tell me the truth? Is it really that dire? If it is, then am I going to make things worse in the long run by not helping Kishi out? Or is this just some emotional ploy so that she can get me to confess the truth? No, I'm sorry, Kishi, but if that's the truth, then that's not my problem. That sounds like something that you, Alphonse, and Maria need to hash out. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to confess anything. Kishi let out a heavy sigh as her shoulders dropped for a moment before returning to a pleasant smile in my direction. Alright, that's fair. Might be too much of me to ask you to interfere in my personal problems. Well, you three are getting into heavy content there. Have you had a fun conversation here? Do you feel like you've enjoyed yourselves to the max? Interrogations are so much fun, aren't they? I wouldn't call them fun, but it is what it is. Right, well, sadly you're out of time, so we're going back to the jail cell now. Right. There was nothing left to do. Left to it then. Either they try and go for a guess now, or they give us another shot at it. If they guess, I'll get it wrong. Though I have a feeling they're going to try and guess it. I can only hope that I did a good enough job to sway them off the right path. And you're back. Yep, I'm back alright. How'd it go? You think you navigated through the interrogation well enough? As good as I could have, I suppose. It was only 4 minutes, but you look like you did alright. Thanks. I'm hoping that's the case. Well, hope no longer, for I have the answer you seek. Didn't take long for Belle to come back to our cell after speaking with Alphonse and Kishi. So, did Alphonse and Maria make a guess? They did. And wouldn't you guess it? They guessed wrong. Got it completely and utterly wrong. How sad, what a shame. They couldn't bear the bad news. Which is why I left them a few minutes to wallow away in their sadness and came to fetch you two. Fetch us? Yeah, after all, you two will be needed for the execution. Huh? It'll make sense pretty quickly. Now come along. Belle opened the cell door and escorted us out. I had a bad feeling I knew what she was referring to, but still. Hey, what's with all the glum faces? You should all be smiling, the game is over. Or at least half of you should be. You know that most people don't revel in the death of others, right? How strange. Oh well, not my problem if you're not going to smile through this. Belle snapped her fingers and an assortment of weapons appeared in front of her. Here, pick your weapon and we can get on with the show. Come now, no need to be shy. Do you need a recommendation? No, I can't do this. Maria reached out for one of the guns and inspected it in her hand. I mean, this should be easy, right? If I'm willing to take a life for the wish, I should be able to do it with my own hands. Just try and make it painless. Maria, please don't do this. I mean, we don't have a choice. We won, so this is what we have to do. That's not what I mean. Maria, I'm talking about your wish. Oh, here we go. Kishi, with all due respect, there's nothing you can say that will stop me or sway me from my decision. This is something I have to do. You wouldn't get it. Nigel needs to die. He sentenced my mother to death. He's ruined lives and he's willing to kill to keep the power of his stupid cult. I'm not going to get this opportunity again. If I don't take it now, then who will? No one. But do you even realize what you're doing is pointless? Say you succeed. You know what's going to happen 4 years from now? Someone will bring Nigel back and it'll be like you threw your lives away for nothing. That's not going to happen. He's going to die and he's going to stay dead. And how the hell are you going to manage that? Well, the stupid cult isn't going to be the same once Nigel's gone. They're not going to let Nigel get another chance at life. What would he say? He would leagues with someone else? That... Maria, I need to know, is someone trying to overthrow the digits of Eden? Like I tell you. Damn it, you don't understand anything, do you? You, Alphonse, Everett, each one of you don't understand a goddamn thing. You're just blindly running toward these dumb goals without thinking twice. I give us some credit, we actually thought this through pretty hard. No, you haven't. Kishi turned back to Alphonse and shoved him toward the wall. This is all your fault. You poisoned her mind with this crusade of revenge. You gonna blame me? Really? It's because of you and your stupid investigation. You're the person that got me killed. That's... You shut your damn mouth. You don't know anything. I don't know anything? I don't know anything? Maria, I've been spoon-fed every damn conflict, scandal and secret this cult has. You think I don't know what happened to your mother? So you've known. You've known since 4 years ago what happened. You know that Nigel ordered my mum dead. Of course you'd know. You were there 4 years ago. You've known for 4 long years and just stayed by them when they murdered my mother. You didn't tell me anything. You went to her funeral. You were there with the others and you just kept it all to yourself. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell anyone. What do you think would happen if I told everyone that Nigel ordered your mother's death? Nothing. Nothing would happen. There'd be mumblings and rumours. People would ask why the heck May was killed. And you know what would happen? They'd think that she deserved it. That she fucked up or pissed someone off or did something so horrible she needed to be killed. That's how they'd spin it, no matter what I said. They'd only make things worse. Make things worse? You think that keeping a secret about my mother being murdered is some kind of mercy? Do you know just how much I was anguishing over my mother's death because I thought I didn't help her enough? That she had some kind of liver cancer or a heart attack or some other disease I was too stupid not to notice? You think that was a mercy, to just keep the truth away from me? Mercy my ass, you didn't give 2 shits about anyone except yourself. When I found out the truth, when I was told what happened, it was like my heart was ripped apart. This was a community that I trusted, that I was raised in, that saved me and my mother from poverty and despair, only to find out they killed her because she knew the truth. I wanted to believe they were good. I worked so hard to bring in so many people thinking I was getting them the help they needed. And after I learned the truth, I could only look at them with shame. I tricked them into joining this damn cult. It was all my fault. They turned my goodwill into something so dark and twisted I wanted to die. I don't care if Nigel gets his life back. I don't care if I die doing this. I want him to suffer. I want him to pay. And if 4 years dead does the trick, then I'll take it. You could do so much better than this, Maria. You could bring back your mother. You and Alphonse could make her immortal if you wanted to. Why not just walk away with that? We can't do that, Kishi. As long as Nigel's alive, he wouldn't let May walk the earth. This is do or die for us. If we fail, then we die. And if we succeed, then there's a chance we'll live. It's as simple as that. Maybe after that we can consider getting May back, but as it stands, there's no way we could just pop on over and bring it back. So it's a coup. You've got someone on the inside protecting you if this goes according to plan. You said that someone told you the truth of what happened in May. There's only a few people that could have known. The people that played in the Game of Fortune 4 years ago, or the leaders that made the call. I doubt that it's just anyone that participated in the game. Even if they told you, it wouldn't be enough to make you so bold as to try this revenge plot. No, you need someone on the inside that would be more than happy to let you get a chance at killing Nigel if it furthered their own goals. I'm right, aren't I? That's how you got in. My grandma was told that it would be a good idea to bring you two in. She never said who, but it couldn't have been Nigel. No reason for that guy to call for his own execution. I'm sure that my grandmother wouldn't let this happen. So that just leaves Sebastian and Cole. And if I had to guess, the person who would want Nigel dead the most would be... Maria had suddenly fired the gun, piercing right through Kishi's chest before she could finish her thought. Her eyes had gone wide, either from the pain or some realization that she'd come across before collapsing onto the ground. Dead and lifeless. Fuck. Fuck. Shit, she's gonna remember all this, isn't she? Hey, it's alright, Maria. No, she's gonna remember and then she's gonna make a big fuss of it when we get back. I fucked up. Why did I say all those things? It's fine, everything's gonna be fine. Even if she figures everything out in the end, there's nothing she can do about it. Yeah, you're right. As long as everything goes well with the plan, then it won't matter. He said he'd take care of it, so... Maria wiped her eyes and composed herself. I could only watch with confusion and fear. I didn't understand anything. Alright, I'm good now. Cool as a cucumber. Relaxed. Ready. What about you, Al? Aside from the small amount of blood sprayed on my face, I think I'll be fine. Just make sure you aim properly so I don't suffer. Unless you want to let Devon take the reins for my death. No, thank you. I'd rather keep my hands clean. No one has clean hands here. But I think I prefer it this way too. Right. Alphonse turned his head back and leaned against the bars of the cell. Right, I'm going to play this right, Alphonse. Don't worry, Maria. I trust you'll do great. You got the passionate drive to do what you think is best without fear. Just like your mother. Why do you have to say stupid things like that before you die? Stupid, it's the truth. Just have faith that everything is going to work out and it will. You got a strong heart, Maria. That's all you need. Alright. Well, until next time, Al. Till next time, Maria. Good luck and good fortune to you. Whew. Glad that's over. Things are taking quite a bit of time, you know. We've got to get going. Anyway, congratulations you two for winning Good Cop, Bad Cop. Impressive that you managed to beat a seasoned investigator, but with enough grit and even a fish can climb mountains. That's not a saying I think exists. Well, no point standing around here. Where do we head next, Belle? Right this way, of course. Belle snapped her fingers and a blue door appeared near one of the walls. You know the way by now, I'm sure, don't you? Yeah, don't need to tell us twice. Great, because I got another game to run. And so I'll see you all soon for our finale. Until then, toodles. Belle disappeared into a cloud of blue smoke. Need a moment? Nah, I'm good. Let's get going. I can't afford to get stopped here after all. Alright, if you need a moment though, there's no shame in taking a breather. I appreciate the concern, but I can handle it, really. She says that, but sometimes she lashes out pretty badly. There was the fight with Everett, her smashing Teresa with a glass. She's volatile. But that might just be the stress of everything going on. Plus, she's had a pretty rough past. And having to kill Alphonse after all this? Well, I can only hope she really can handle whatever we've got coming up next. Okay, let's get moving then. Well, at least we made it to the end. Yeah, honestly though, it's been a lot less painful than I thought it was going to be. Aside from the first game, these haven't been so bad. Yeah, it seems that most of these games have been psychological. And if you think about the second game, we weren't in any real danger at all. Right, since 4 people were already dead by the time we hit our game. Still, since we're apparently in some kind of time loop, that means that we probably died a bunch of times, right? Yeah, probably. That's concerning. Well, we'll know once we get to the final room. No, that's also the scariest part of all. Scary? Oh, well, not for you, more for me. I mean, I can explain once I get there. Should be right up ahead. I shrugged and simply followed behind Maria until we reached the end of the hallway. Once we got to the end of the hall, Maria pushed open the door without a second thought and entered into the lounge once again. Alright, it should be right around there. Maria pointed to one of the walls of the lounge and walked over excitedly. Come over here, check this out, Devon. I walked just behind Maria to get a look at some kind of picture framed on the wall. I wasn't here the last times we entered the lounge. But as I got closer, I felt a wave of deja vu. Well, you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, I just feel a little dizzy, that's all. Is that some kind of picture? It's a scorecard, or a scoreboard. Scoreboarder. Yeah, take a look. I walked closer and inspected the picture that was framed up on the wall. Okay, we're pretty deep in. Huh. You don't seem all that surprised. My head throbbed as I looked at the pictures. My head is killing me. Do you need to sit down? No, Devon? I'm alright. Yes, I'm alright. I've been through this enough times after all. Well, according to this, 8 times actually. You sure? Yeah, the pain is fading away now. I'm good now. If you say so. More importantly, want to tell me about the scorecard thing? I already know about it at this point, but Maria seems excited to chat about it. Right, so the scorecard here basically shows who's already won the whole game and what they wish for. By the looks of things, it seems Clyde and I have already won. Sure does, along with Kishi and Everett. Which is kind of a relief. Though I'm a little surprised to see that white wreath around Everett's picture. Does the colour matter? Sure does. See the different colours of the clovers on some of the people's wreaths? Yeah, they're blue, gold and white. Yeah, so gold means you've wished to bring someone back to life. Blue means you've granted immortality to someone. And white means you're wishing someone to die. So then when you make a wish, your clover will be white. Or green. Depends on the timing. Green? Well, green makes someone mortal. It's like the opposite of blue, which makes someone immortal. Which is very important to me, since Nigel was immortal. Even if I wanted to wish him dead, I couldn't do it right now. Gotta make him mortal first. That's why it's super important for me and Alphonse to be one of the last people to win the game. Huh, now that is interesting. Mind explaining your plan in detail a little more? Sure, it's not really all that complicated. Nigel's immortal, and the only real way to kill him is to remove his immortality and then kill him. As far as Al and I know, this is the only place to remove someone's immortality. You can make wishes to kill other people as well. Problem is that Everett and Teresa are basically Nigel's bodyguards. They'll do anything to make sure that he stays alive and immortal. Alright, that makes sense to me. If we end up getting our wishes first, then they'll just reverse them. By wishing for Nigel to be like brought back to life and made immortal. Exactly. The idea is basically that if Everett and Teresa make their wishes before us, then we can execute Nigel. The problem is actually, you know, winning later than the other two. Well, it seems you're off to a good start. Everett's already made a wish to kill someone. Right, so that means that if Teresa ends up winning before Alphonse or me, then we're basically done. Or rather, Nigel's done. Yeah, that makes sense. Of course, they know that too, so they're trying to avoid winning until after Alphonse and I make our wishes. So we're like having this tug of war, basically. What if you end up with some kind of tie? A tie? Yeah, something like Everett wasted a wish, then Alphonse wished for Nigel to be mortal, then Teresa wishes for him to be immortal, and then you wish for him to be mortal again. That kind of situation. Well, I guess that'd still be a loss on our part. I mean, if he's alive at all, then he's going to know for sure that we tried to kill him. And if that happens, well, Alphonse and I are going to be dead without a doubt. If your aim is to kill him, couldn't someone else, like, kill him while he's mortal? Yeah, I think there's someone on the outside who's preparing for that possibility. But I don't think he'll be able to act that brazenly. Our partner is really relying on us to take care of things here. Just as much as we're counting on him, he's counting on us. Well, I hope that things work out for you then, Maria. It sounds like if they don't go according to plan, you're going to be dead and unsatisfied. I'll manage. Right now we're on the right track, so we'll need to make sure that Teresa wins whenever she gets a chance. I mean, it's possible, isn't it? She was in the second group, so she might end up a finalist here. If that ends up happening, can I count on your help? I know I'm asking a lot here. You really don't know what's going on here, and I'm basically a stranger to you, but yeah, I'd be glad to help. Wait, really? Really? That's the least I could do. Huh. You know, I figured I'd have to do a bit more begging to get you to agree, but I'll take what I can get. You've been helping me and pushing me along for a while now, so I think that helping you with this goal of yours would be the least I can do. Plus, Everett and Teresa are real self-centered assholes. I know from painful experience at this point. True, but even so, I didn't really do all that much, Devon. The little thing I did with Clyde in the second game wasn't that big either. I just needed to give him a small push to say what he was feeling. I'm not just talking about that. Huh? And what are you talking about? I guess you don't remember then, huh? Are you talking about the other cycles or something? Because if you are, I really don't remember much about them at all. Sad to say. Well, I guess that's fair. There were a lot of times that I didn't remember anything at all. I walked over toward one of the couches and beckoned Maria to sit beside me. You're acting a bit different. You must remember a lot of things, huh? Bits and pieces. Honestly, a lot of it's still blurry, but most of the memories involve you, actually. Are you trying to confess your love and admiration for me or something? Well, something like that. What? Okay, not like romantic love. Oh, boo. Way to get a girl's hopes up. Just let me finish, alright? Then it'll make sense. Alright, if you say so. Okay, so what I wanted to say is that I remember being in a lot of games with you. I remember that you were always supportive in them, always trying to push me forward, always trying to bolster me up and prepare me for the hells that were in this game. You were always trying to protect me. Even when I was down and out, I didn't believe in myself. You were there pushing me onwards. And I really appreciate the pushes you and others have given me. You're gonna make me cry, Devon. I don't even remember all these nice things, but if you can recall them, then it must mean I'm doing a good job. Yeah, you're doing a great job. Whenever we're together, I feel like I never have to worry about you. Even when we're opponents, we're never enemies, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. I don't know why. I guess my instinct to help just kicks in whenever I see you. I just want you to be happy. At least as happy as you can be here. Even if we're only here for however many loops we got, I want to be some positive force on your life. I'll consider that mission achieved. Still, I want you to be happy too. You caring so much for others. What do you think about yourself? I care about myself. It's just in my nature to care about others more. I already told you how much I wanted to help people. Even so, there's probably a few times when you've wanted to help yourself, right? No person can do everything, even someone as amazing as you. I mean, you probably have had people you could lean and rely on, right? Not as many as you might think, really. I mean, sure, there were some good meaning people, but they would come and go like tumbleweeds. They'd come and go, offer some small support and leave. Maybe it was the stigma of being the daughter of an alcoholic, or maybe it was something else, but I don't think I had a lot of deep friendships. Especially as I got older and realized that a lot of my friendships were pretty transactional. Really, and this is kind of embarrassing to say, the only true friend I had was my mother. The kind of person that would say things that I needed to hear, not the things I wanted to hear. Well, I guess that's not the only person to be like that, but she's probably the one I've known the longest. I'm guessing Alphonse is the other friend that you've got. It really does look like all the people I'm friendly with are way older than me. Maybe that's why you're so friendly to me and Clyde, huh? Is it so wrong to want to befriend and hang out with some cool people like you? Well, you were flirting too. I didn't know you two would be such a sweet couple at first. Either way, you're both pretty nice to be around. But going back to Al, Al's special, kind of like an uncle. You know, I really didn't like the guy when I first met him, actually. I remember my mum was starting to act a little strange, probably a few days or weeks after the Game of Fortune finished around 8 years ago. She didn't seem as enthused or as happy to be in the community and was questioning a lot of things. Then when she introduced me to Alphonse, I thought that he was an outsider trying to steal my mother away. Steal your mum away? Like get married to her or something? Oh no, Al is gay, so he's not. It wasn't like that. I thought that Al was putting all these ideas into my mum's head about how the Digits of Eden was evil and corrupt and was a cult. But weren't they all those things? Oh, they absolutely are, but remember, this is 8 years ago. I was still pretty deep with them. So I just remember being really suspicious of him, especially since he was asking a bunch of questions about the Digits of Eden. But over time, I kind of warmed up to him since he would come and visit my mother so often. He asked how I was doing, sometimes visit me at work, brought me gifts for my birthday and would come over for the holidays. It was weird. I knew he was just some detective, but he was just always coming around. Maybe I was just happy looking up to him, seeing his gruff face every once in a while. It's kind of sweet, actually. Yeah, it was, but then my mother died, and I remember that Al showed up at my house and he was quiet. He had this dark and grim expression on his face and was mumbling under his breath. I was still reeling from my mum's death, but I remember that somehow he looked to be in more pain than I was. He didn't even stay long, he just said, "I'm sorry about what happened to May. It's all my fault." All his fault, huh? He meant that he was the reason my mum was ordered to be killed. I was already furious with him. I talked with him over the phone when I found out my mum died, and just seeing him in person, it gave me something to lash out at. I didn't get didn't get it at the time, but I was so distraught and overwhelmed with emotion, I just laid into him. I screamed and punched and threw things at him. I don't think I even understood why. I just wanted a reason to let out everything out of my chest. It wasn't until he left and I was done crying that I felt horrible pang of guilt and regret. Elle had been nothing but kind to me and my mother. I didn't really understand at the time what they were doing together, but I didn't want to think that he somehow hurt my mum, that he was somehow responsible. But the damage was already done. He'd stopped talking for a while. By that point in life just felt like a real empty blur. I was alone, depressed, not even sure what to think. There were a few times where I didn't want to do anything but drink. Just the shock of everything. I wanted all the pain to go away. I wanted to forget. The worst part is that if anyone saw me like that, they'd think I was just like my mum in the worst ways. Hardship hit me like a truck and then I hit the bottle like a drunk. How'd you end up getting out of that state? Well, sometime after that event, I got a call from one of the Digits of Eden leaders. They wanted to meet up somewhere private. They apparently had something important to tell me. And it turned out to be some really important meeting, because Al was there too. We had the chance to talk things through a bit more, but it's where I found out the truth. That your mother was ordered to be killed in the Game of Fortune. Yes, I remember seeing red. I was ready to act right there and then, but I was told that we had to wait. That I had to act natural, as to not rouse suspicion. That's what our sponsor said. Your sponsor? The person that let you in the game, I'm guessing. Not quite. See, technically it was Kishi's grandmother's idea to get us in the game. But that was only because our real sponsor pitched the idea to her. Why do that? I'm assuming that whoever told you the truth had some power and sway in the Digits of Eden. So couldn't they just sponsor you then? Make you get into the game? Yeah, I think the idea is they wanted to sow some discord and distrust between Nigel and Kishi's grandmother, Kana. You have to remember that Al and I were probably seen as threats. People willing to kill for revenge. By having Kana bring it up and not a sponsor, it kind of made it seem like Kana had something out for Nigel. Oh, do you remember Kana? She was the one with the blue mask. I think it had a number 2 on it. Yeah, I remember. Kana Umishima, Kishi's grandmother and the second in command of the Digits of Eden. Whoever Maria and Alphonse's sponsor is, they're certainly smart enough to get the top 2 leaders banging heads against one another. Which I think is part of the greater plan. Sounds like there's a lot of moving parts going on here. Yeah, there's a lot. I remember that really all I had to do was just get back to my normal old self, continue recruiting and act as though nothing was wrong. Which was hard as hell. The last thing I wanted to do was recruit more people into this cult, but I had to make myself seem like the golden girl. Our sponsor made that part explicitly clear. I see. That explains you, then how'd you get Alphonse in? He was my partner, he was a friend of my mum, and it was really easy to spin the narrative that we both wanted to bring my mother back. Didn't have to actually pretend that part. We both would have liked that, but we had other objectives in mind. I guess that makes sense. There's just one thing I'm wondering. What did your sponsor get out of all this? Control. It's like Kishi said earlier. It's kind of like a coup. They've been planning this sort of takeover for a while now. They want to change the Digits of Eden from the cult that it is into something else. Something else like what? I don't really know. I guess like another kind of cult? Like the magic kind? But they assured us they didn't want to bother with running it the same way it was. That they didn't have any interest in manipulating people. And you believe them? Not really. At least, I don't think that anyone would willingly throw away power like that. But they're a lesser evil in my mind, so maybe they won't fix things at all. Maybe they'll make things worse, but I wanted my revenge. I was willing to compromise for that. If whoever the sponsor is trying to take over, then that means they'd have to get rid of the old leadership. So they're using you and Alphonse to kill Nigel, but what about the others? That I'm not too sure of. They said they had plans and means of getting the right people to get the job done, but I don't really know the details. All I know is they seem confident that they had things taken care of at this point. And if all goes according to their plan, then, well, Al and I will get our revenge and live, and if not, we'll be dead in the ground. Damn. But hey, I knew that coming in, so I'm alright with it. Sheesh, this shit is, wow. I knew this cult was nuts, but God, I feel like I'm in some weird political intrigue plot. I guess you kind of are. But don't worry, it's not like you're really in the middle of it. So you'll be fine. I promise you'll be safe and sound as long as I have anything to say about it. Never really figured I was in any danger, but it's still nice to have some reassurances. As the conversation was winding down, we heard the sounds of the door leading to the lounge opening up. We both stood up, wondering who the final 2 would be joining in the game. The second group that was made of Grant, Lilith, Clyde, and Teresa. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. So in the next one, we're going to be jumping into the final death game for this run, which is going to bring us closer to the final end. I don't know how many more... hang on, let me just have a quick look at a flowchart here. Oh, we got a few to go still. We got a few to go still. But anyway, thanks for watching, Prez, and I'll see you in the next one.